Joe Louis, champion of them all, Bourbon presents The Making of Champions. In honor and respect for the legacy of Joe Louis, the longest reigning world heavyweight champion, who became the first African-American national hero, who served in World War II, contributing to the morale of the troops, broke through the color barrier in professional golf, and helped pave the way for future generations of civil rights activists. Each new episode celebrates people who follow his lead in accomplishing extraordinary things to inspire a new generation of champions. It begins now with your hosts, Tanya Cole and Marquise Johns.
Oh, hey.
Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of The Making of Champions with Dana Richards, better known as Malibu Dana. Now, Malibu Dana says that a butterfly flapping its wings in Africa can cause a hurricane in Florida. And she most certainly is causing the winds of change, not only for the residents in Malibu, but for cancer survivors. Now, I want to go back a little bit to a reference that you made to your mom, and she called you Brave Dana.
Dana the Brave.
Dana Brave. Tell us more about that. I'm wondering if that spirit that you have, that butterfly spirit, started when you were very, very young.
I think so. I was like that little kid always climbing trees, falling out of trees, such a tomboy. Like, I think I might have broken every bone in my body at some point. I was a gymnast, so super competitive. But again, I think that might have served me well. Obviously, maybe when my mom coined me that all those years ago, Dana the Brave, maybe we didn't know then that I was going to need that. I was going to need that later on in life to kind of pave the way for who I became. And I think, like kind of like a Joe Louis thing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty competitive about everything. I'm competitive about yoga. Like, and yoga is supposed to be like going inward, mainly with myself. I just want to be the best at anything I do. Like, and so I like, if I do something, I'm going to dive in head first. I want to be the best at anything I do, which it can be difficult, because then if you're not good at something right away, then you're like, I'm going to do something else. But I mean, I was a competitive gymnast, and then I had this huge growth spurt. I was like this miniature human. And then being tall in gymnastics isn't really a thing. It's sort of it's an occupational hazard for a gymnast. But I feel like that growing up that way, maybe my mom coining me that. I mean, even I grew up, I'm from the Midwest originally, and ironically, this is going to make you laugh, I was born in Peoria, which is the land of Caterpillar. Is actually where Caterpillar is from, industrial. So maybe, even then we knew. But have you ever watched a butterfly, a mariposa? Do you see how we flutter? And people think butterflies are fragile, but actually we've gone through this huge metamorphosis, which is that whole butterfly effect that I talk about. I mean, I'm still becoming her every day, trying to become the best version of me. But you have to go through a lot of ugly phases. I wasn't that pretty when I was a caterpillar. There was the larva and the pupa and all the things you have to go through. And I feel like that's the transformation. I mean, it's painful, but it's turning that pain into joy, into helping others. I mean, my journey was painful, but I will say there's this ineffable trait and quality I've found in almost every breast cancer survivor, because I feel like it's not only my job to help the people going through it, it's my job to help the people who are coming on, who are also newly diagnosed, but the ones who are coming out the other side, because there's really no rule book for what you're supposed to do when you're done. And you've been defined by doctors for a year, right? You've been in and out of chemo, you have radiation every day. You kind of become validated by going to the doctor. You can't even see straight. And then when you're done, you don't have hair, or you've lost your identity, your dignity's been chipped away at. You don't feel like you anymore. And everyone's like, oh no, you're done with that. Oh no, you're not done with that. There's some PTSD for sure. Every checkup, because you just like, you live in that. You try not to, I didn't want to get rid of my wigs because I was afraid if I got rid of my wigs, it would come back. You have all these, I didn't want to grow my hair back because if I grow it back, I'd get attached. There's all these weird superstitions you get in your head until, I'm telling you, I didn't talk about it for 5 years. So everyone thinks, oh, I'm this crazy butterfly and I was so open, spreading joy. I wasn't. I kind of was hibernating in that cocoon. I kind of felt, I guess, invisible when I was going through it. And I guess when you get out the other side, a lot of people are changed. It does change you. The change can be beautiful, but quite painful. And it's what you do with that pain. And all these survivors, they want to be part of something. They don't know what's next. Yeah. So I give them something to be part of. They want to volunteer. Everyone knows Malibu Dana is going to do it. And my fundraiser, I put the fun in the fundraisers, right? I've had vodka sponsors. I've had different sponsors for different events. I mean, we do runway shows. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stuffy. Yes, it's for an important cause, but that doesn't mean it has to be so serious all the time. No one ever called me boring, but that's because I feel like it's so easy to be happy. I'm here. Like part of my existence is to spread joy, is to flutter around. Half the time during the pandemic, you could have seen me dancing up here in the living room by myself. Just Stevie Nicks on a loop with my bourbon. You got to make the best out of a situation, right?
Right.
We're all just doing the best that we can. But I don't know. I guess I was in Europe when I got your email, Tanya, and the whole Joe Louis story. I was so inspired because, gosh, I was like, to even be put in a category of something that you would even want to talk to me. I don't even really know how you found me. So random. But I'm glad that you did. But what an honor to be even put in a category of something. And then I went and I was trying to do some research. Do a lot of research and development, but I was like, oh gosh, I'm not a boxer. Oh no, I'm not. I don't know a lot about boxing. But I was like, I hope I'm going to do okay. But I do believe in that undeniable spirit, just to keep going, to always keep going. People are like, how did you just not curl up and die in the corner? Well, what were my choices? I choose to live. Yeah.
Right.
You got to keep the reins. That's why you got early detection. That's why you have to get checked. You have to be vigilant. It's just like anything in life. You don't not get your teeth cleaned. Right? It's just one of the, yeah. And the earlier you catch it, the better off you're going to be. You catch it early, you stand a really good chance. The people that don't do anything are the ones that don't, unfortunately, make it. Mm-hmm. So those are my girls up there. But
perseverance is why you're here, because that is the story of Joe Louis.
Yeah,
and there are many examples of that greatness, and we believe that you, Malibu Dana, you are a story of that greatness that's here for us in the present today, for those of us to be able to see, and for people to know that the story is not only just for boxers, because that story is bigger than boxing, just like your story is bigger than you. And you may know a friend, we hold a mutual friend. Her name is, you might know her as Kim Kelly. I know her as Kim Kelly Cook. She went
from
to
high school
with you.
From McLean. Kim Kelly Cook.
That's right.
I haven't seen her since high school.
Right. Shout out to Kim Kelly Cook. We were talking about Joe Louis and talking about the tenets and strength and perseverance, and she brought up your name. And so I did research about you while you were in Europe. And I said, if anyone embodies the spirit, it's you.
I try real hard every day, do the best that I can. And I'm not going to stop. Sorry.
Don't.
Didn't mean to get teary. You made me teary, damn it. I'm going to have to drink. It's not even 5:00 here. But I don't know. Listen, I would have preferred not to go through it, but I know my greater purpose.
Good.
I know what I'm supposed to do every day when I wake up. And I know all the women I'm supposed to talk to. And no one said it was going to be easy, but I know every day what I'm supposed to do. I kind of found my greater purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing every day. And I feel like a lot of people are going through their life just kind of flitting around with no real path. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So, I had to change my story. The narrative of my story went from being, I don't know, I guess they say you get to redefine yourself. We can do it as many times as you want, frankly. I don't know why. We picked the 7 years. Someone said it would be 7 years. Let's go with the 7. It's a lucky.
That sounds good.
Someone said that, right? Someone, I don't know, someone.
Yeah.
So every 7 years they say, you redefine yourself. sort of like, I feel like it's that new skin, right? It's just like that you're shedding, like there's a new you, right? I mean, how boring would it be to be exactly the same? And that's part of what, you know, people are like, you're crazy, you're what? I'm like, listen, you don't like me, that's fine. I'm not for everyone. But then at the same time, people are like, oh my gosh, I follow you on Instagram, you're my favorite. I'm like, well, it's like, just be your authentic self. You do you, right? A lot of girls going through breast cancer because of social media are very open about it, right? It's like an open blog. Some people might say they're oversharing. You know what? If that's therapeutic to them and that's what they need to do, some people are more closed off about it. And maybe later on, like me, 5 years later, they talk about it. I don't know. Like, you have to do you. You have to be your most authentic self. But I do think I'm helping a lot of them because they see me and they're like, if she did it, I can do it. She's 12 years on the other side. Most people get confused because I said at first I say I had breast cancer and they're like, huh? And then I say I had it when I was 35, which I've just aged myself. You're welcome. Then I say when I was 35 and they're even more confused. They're like, well, how old are you now? You don't. I'm like, well, that's because I'm 12. That's what my husband says. I act like a 12-year-old because I'm 12 years. I'm going to go through puberty next year. It's going to be very hard for my husband. He's always like, I never know what you're going to say. I'm like, neither do I. We have so much in common. We're very compatible. But he lets me flutter. He lets me be. He lets me dance around. I'm wild and crazy, and I like making people laugh. I like bringing joy. He always says when he met me, he said, you were light. You know, you walk in a room and you're light. And he said he knew the minute he saw me, I'm going to marry her. And I have no idea why. I didn't think that when I saw him. I sure as heck, he had to wear me down. Yeah. Just wore me down. He's a recruiter. I'm the recruit of his life.
Yeah.
What? Rude. But sorry, you made me teary, and then I went off into a tangent. I was telling you guys about the bourbon that I love. That's from Kentucky.
Yes.
I found it. I went on a hunting mission. Where is it? Clyde Mays.
That's right, out of Alabama.
Oh, sorry, Alabama.
Yeah.
Not Kentucky, Alabama. See, I probably do need to start drinking. I've already lost my marbles. Have you guys had this one though? I know.
I have tried that one.
I have not.
So you said Joe Lewis's distillery is in Virginia. Where in Virginia?
Well, it's in Davis Valley, so it's not too far from the Kentucky border, and so there are a lot of similarities between the climate and whatever agriculturally is going on between Kentucky and Virginia. And so the water there is fabulous with all that limestone in it, and so we think it makes a pretty good bourbon.
Are there other distilleries down there, or?
I am sure that there are a few craft distilleries down there. I just have not honestly
Never heard of them.
Research on. Say that again.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of it. Exactly. I'm not them. We just carry on Valley.
I was just wondering if I were to take a field trip, because I did go to Virginia Tech. I'm a proud Hokie.
Okay.
So what I was saying is I was born in Peoria, land of Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Who knew? Somebody knew I would become a butterfly later.
Uh-huh.
So I came from outer space in a pod, and then I was in a cocoon, and then I came out of Caterpillar, and then I became a butterfly. I'm updating. So, and then when my parents split up, my mom wanted a fresh start, so we moved to Fairfax County, which is where I think you live. Yeah, Tanya, are you in Northern Virginia, Fairfax County?
No, I am actually in Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh, wait. So where's Kim? I don't even know.
Kim actually is here in Atlanta.
Oh, see.
I don't know how she got here, but she's in Atlanta right now.
Probably from the same UFO that I came in on. Somewhere up there. So Fairfax County is where I know Kim from. So I went to Plain High School where my parents split up. My whole family is from the Midwest, though. I grew up Chicago, Cubs, and my parents went to either by. But then we moved to Fairfax County. My dad was still in the Midwest. My family was too, but my mom and my brother and I. And then I needed to go to a state school, and everyone now goes. They always say, "Oh my gosh, you went to Virginia Tech? Oh my gosh, you're engineering school." I'm like, "Oh no." I was in the journalism department. Communications. I'm really good with people. I said, I don't really understand what engineers do. It's very confusing for me. I said, a lot of my friends are engineers, but yeah, I wasn't one of the engineers. But Virginia Tech has now become serious. I mean, it was a good school, a really good school when I got in, but people are like, how did you get in there? I'm like, I probably wouldn't get in now. And the communications department. Yeah. So, I was the weird one with the journalism degree with the weird dreams. And I wanted to work in TV, and I thought I was going to be a journalist, and, Dana Lycan at the time, Dana Lynn Lycan reporting live. And then I worked in the newsroom at KNBC. I got an internship here in Burbank, and people are like, I was the crazy one. I was like always the one just head first. I was the only person back when I'm in the dark ages, when I was in school in 1995, no one studied abroad, right? That wasn't a thing.
Right, I don't remember.
I was like, hey, I want to go to the south of France. People are like, where are you going? What are you doing? And same thing when I was moving to LA, people are like, where are you going? Why do you want to move out to Los Angeles? And I had these big dreams, and I thought I was going to be a news reporter. And then I realized my skin isn't thick enough. They wait for bad things to happen. So I ended up in entertainment, and I started out for the late night department at NBC. I was a page. You might remember from the show 30 Rock. Remember the show 30 Rock?
Yes.
I was there's a I wish I had it up. I think it was in Malibu. It was a picture of me in a page uniform on the cover of like the calendar section of the LA Times. And I'm like looking off into the stars, and my page polyester, and it says, NBC pages don polyester in hopes of bigger dreams. And Jay Leno is behind me. That was a real headline, and that was me. And I was the girl with the bigger dreams. And I just worked my way up, and I don't like handouts. I don't know about you guys. I don't like handouts. I want to earn everything. It means more when you earn it, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't it's the same thing. When I sold my first show, I remember my husband, I wanted this fancy watch, and my husband, we weren't married yet, but he was like, I could buy it for you, but it would mean so much more to you if you buy it. I'm like, no, it wouldn't. You can buy it. So I told him no. But the truth is every time I wear it, I think that's Ace of Cakes, right? Right. And then, of course, the car broke down right after I bought it. That's like, big mistake. I wonder if they'll take the watch back. That, life always works like that. But I remember buying the watch, and I was in West Hollywood, by sunset. It was a Cartier watch. It was a really big deal for me, really, really big deal. And I won it for years. I really couldn't afford it. But I was like, I sold this show. We only had 6 episodes. We went on, Ace of Cakes went on 120 episodes. I don't know if you know that. We were the first cake show, Baltimore. And it was before, we're kind of ahead of our time with that show. So, and of all things, by the way, Kim, this Duff Goldman went to high school with us. Did you know that? Fun fact. He went to McLean High School with us. So I was working on some show, and I asked him, hey, do you want to be on a show? And then I think there is something to know talent when you see talent. It's being a good producer. And I knew immediately he was rough, and he was funny and charismatic. And I'm like, this guy's a television show. And then, if I hadn't found him, someone else would have. Honestly, it was just like a time bomb. And now look, I mean, he's married, and he always thanks me. He said, all of this is because of you. And I'm like, someone else would have found you. I just got real lucky. And then we were the first workplace docuseries, right? It was at that time, it was kind of like a cute little sitcom. It was before all of the 800-pound, whatever it is, Kardashian life of
my 500-pound so-called life, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know about you, but I don't watch any of the reality TV anymore. I know people love it, but maybe I'm too jaded.
The last reality show that I got caught watching that I can admit to on this broadcast here was Bad Girls Club, and that's not recent. So yeah, it's not that time period.
Club.
Yeah.
How old are you? That's from the dark ages.
Told you it's from the dark ages.
He's younger than I am, though.
Were there like 4 channels then?
I had to plug the rabbit ears in. It wasn't quite HD yet.
You just aged yourself.
Right. Well, if you were to make a show now, what would it be about? And who would you cast in it?
That is a very good question. Huh. Well, both of you. I would like to, obviously. And what are they called? They're called the Bourbon Boys? Oh, I mean, I don't know, just because I like to fly by the seat of my pants. That sounds awesome. Can you imagine if we did like a on the Kentucky Trail and like we could make it like Cash Cab only on the Kentucky Trail?
Yes.
This is why you're a producer. I see you working already. Okay.
But actually, it would be an amazing game show, right?
Yeah.
And you get more, you win more depending on how many distilleries you've been to, depending on your level. I mean, it's kind of brilliant. What if there was what if the Kentucky Bourbon Boys were taking people, but then there was like a host? And I'm sorry, I'm just making stuff up. But honestly, I would like to, if it were for me from an educational standpoint, I really kind of am obsessed with bourbon. So I'd like to learn more. So that's when I get completely selfish. People always say, oh, you should do one about breast cancer. I'm like, yeah, people aren't going to watch that. I mean, they aren't. I mean, people want to watch the Kardashians. People want to watch the Real Housewives. People like the self-aware stuff. I mean, listen, I all that stuff is great, the empowering stuff. But there's this woman, you might know her. Her name's Oprah.
Yeah.
And she couldn't even make it work. She had her own network.
Yeah.
I mean, the softer stuff just doesn't seem to pull in the people because people, I think, especially during COVID, people want to escape, right? They want to escape. And I'm one of them. I don't know about you, but like everyone's like, did you watch the documentary? I mean, I love documentaries, but like when I watch a show, I kind of just want to go into an alternate universe, and you just it's my time to shut down, right? Yeah. It's supposed to be.
It's an escape.
Speaking of which, this is completely random, but I'm just going to say, have you seen Top Gun? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like a seventh grader.
Yeah, Top Gun was good.
It was incredible. You guys, that's like 35 years later. That is the best sequel of all time. 35 years later. I mean, I'm telling you, I was the screaming seventh grader. I totally flashed back, and then the Kenny Loggins, and then you heard the music come in. I was freaking out with my husband. He was laughing at me. And at the movie theater, you can get cocktails. Can you guys get that there?
Yes.
Oh.
There's a couple like sit and eat places that they have here that you can do that here.
We actually went to see Jurassic World, which don't go see it.
I heard that was not so good.
I heard that wasn't good.
It's the same scene with the dinosaur and then their scared face. It's the same scene. They could have just cut it from every other one. They're all the same movie. And then they put Jeff Goldblum. They put all of the people from all the movies.
Oh, that's right. Jeff Goldblum's it because my boy from
it's really long. Gosh, my husband, I got to give him props. We brought a little flask in the movie theater for me. And then we did it. But the movie was terrible. I got Mr. Pibb, and then I got like Coca-Cola, and then I got a ginger ale. And we were in the back just having our own little taste off because the movie sucked. But you might as well make the best of it. And I don't know, for you, like I felt like we thought we might never go to the movies again, right? So going to the movies is a really big deal, and being able to drink bourbon at the movies is a really big deal. So, but I think to answer your question, I think from a informational, just purely self-serving standpoint, I would love to do a show about bourbon, and you all are invited. I'll start at Joe Lewis's.
All right.
Yes. I mean, I have done kickboxing. I don't know if that constitutes as boxing.
It does. It
does.
Yeah, I kick the crap out of something. It's very difficult. Do you guys box?
I've been in the gym, and I cover boxing for nyfights.com. It's the side hustle. It's you can't play boxing is a cliche that every fighter will tell you when you walk into the gym. It's a saying that I can tell you ladies. As a whole, you just can't fake it at all whatsoever. No matter what aspect of it is, either it's promotion, making flyers, even writing about it, you just can't play boxing. Period. It's just really that simple.
Yeah, you can't fake it.
No,
you're not going to fake it.
Yeah. Before after fights, I avoid that at all.
Yeah,
immediately. Yeah. It's an intense sport, but I do have some mad respect because I don't know. I'm so competitive. I mean, I could probably go beat the crap out of somebody once, just out of sheer will. Like you can't tell me I can't do anything, right? I will be the best at it maybe once, and then who knows what will happen. But I do have mad respect for individual sports, and maybe that's because I'm not a very good team player. I love individual sports. I'm better at them. It's hard when you have to rely on other people, right?
Yeah.
That's something I've been trying to learn is like, I don't control anything in life. You know, you have to realize the only things you really control in life are how you listen, how you react. The rest is just kind of happening.
How you brace for impact.
Yeah. You think you control all these things, but you really don't. It's been a hard lesson for me to learn. And every day I have to remind myself, like, I'm like, it's all just going on around me. It just depends on how I decide to react to it and listen, I guess. Well, I mean, what choices do we have, right? I mean, do you guys feel like people have been kinder since the pandemic, or no?
Not really. It depends on what field you're in. The stuff that I do personally, it's been about the same actually, but I'm sure it's been nicer in other areas. I'm sure, Tanya, being in school education, that's probably not going to be the same thing as well. So,
well, the children are always great. You know, I think
it's the parents.
I think the pandemic has brought out some of the me and not we, even though we've touted that, because it has been about survival. And so I have noticed that some of those type of survivalist traits have come out in terms of people and relationships and interaction. So hopefully that answers your question, honestly.
Kids are resilient, though, right? Yeah. Kids are resilient.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, everyone is. They just don't know they are until they're put to the test. And I think one of the cliche things people say all the time, oh, everything happens for a reason. I'm like, no. I mean, I think that's an easy out to say that because I want to say, well, maybe you haven't had to go through anything yet, right? And I mean, you don't want them to have to suffer to understand that that's just a cliche thing to say because bad things happen to good people all the time, and there's just not a reason. You can't even look at it like that, right?
Yeah.
Right? But when they do, it's how are you going to overcome it? How is it going to change you? How are you going to use that pain or use that struggle or that challenge to define who you are? So,
do you find I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you find like with greatness and with champions that one must go through that struggle?
I think so. I mean, sadly, I guess, it's like you almost have to get whipped down a little to pick yourself back up. But think about boxing in general. You're going to get knocked down. It's a metaphor for life, isn't it? I mean, it just maybe it hurts a little more at the time when you're getting knocked out. But it is a metaphor. If you think about it, that is your life. How many rounds do we have? Yeah. How many, right? I mean, but you get to choose. You get to choose. That's the free will part, right? You get to decide every day how you're going to treat other people with respect. Yeah. You get to decide how to overcome those challenges. You get to decide whether you're going to be a victim or you're going to be a survivor. You get to decide. Life's not fair, but there. I'm not going to say there's always a silver lining because that's a heap of crap too. but it is about perception. Yeah. You can it's the pandemic. Yes. But my hope was, okay, we pivoted. You know what? We probably wouldn't even be doing this podcast right now. Things did change. People work smarter. I mean, a lot of things. We do these We Give days at the hospitals. We used to do them inside where all those things in the care packages I was telling you about for the newly diagnosed breast cancer patients. We used to do it like a buffet. So they'd pick their yoga mat, we would do, and I hug them all and I love on them all. I'm like, I'm a butterfly, you're a butterfly. What we learned in the pandemic is we do a drive-through. And the drive-through is pretty cool because we have everyone in pink vest and we're cheering them on and they're with their families in their car. Some of them are very fragile and going through treatment and teary. Some are on, I just finished my last round with the radiation buddy. And they're like, I wanted to meet you. You're the butterfly. I wear your hat everywhere. I wear it to radiation. I take your hat on every vacation. You're the butterfly. And they're like, and I'm like, and I get to meet them and I get to hug them all. So having those stations and cheering them on. And this one funny one, she's like, I was like, who's this handsome fellow driving you today? Is this your husband? She's like, that's my Uber driver. I was like, we have precious cargo, so take care of her. But think about it.
Right?
Just the Uber driver. A very handsome fellow. No, but the thing is but we wouldn't have even known. And now we're going to do all of the We Give days at the chemo wards at the hospitals. We're going to be doing them in a drive-through because it actually is, it's incredible for them to be with their family and to experience it and we've made it into a bigger deal, right? So, no one wanted to go through the pandemic, and God willing, we're kind of coming on the other side of that. But what choice do we have? We have to learn the lessons that we got from it and try to take the best things that we can from it.
That's
right?
right.
That's all we can do. And I think Joe Louis is a perfect example of that, right? You have to advocate for what you believe in. And your convictions and your integrity are what make you who you are. So I'm just like honored to even be like, when I say his name, I don't feel like I'm worthy. So he's this crazy Malibu Dana. He's probably
you are so worthy. Another
she's a butterfly, but
so worthy. Yeah. Another bourbonite and Scotch drinker, Mark Twain, said the two most important days of our life is the day we were born and the day we find out our why. So, Malibu Dana, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here on this earth. And thank you for sharing your why and your purpose in life with us.
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. And I'm just going to say again, if anyone knows anyone who's been diagnosed or you need to talk to someone, I'm going to make myself available to you. You can find me just on Instagram or at my website, Malibu Dana or malibudana.me. If you want to request a care package, you can do it through me. If you need someone to talk to, if you know someone diagnosed, I will talk to them. They can find me on Instagram. I probably make myself a little too available, but I will make myself available 24/7 to anyone who needs me always. And I'm not going to stop. So that's my mission. I know my mission.
And how can the rest of us support your mission through Malibu Dana? Your hats, your swimwear, your active
yes. I have. You'll see when you go. I have. They call save the world in style. I like to say save the world in style. And I kind of have this, as you've probably seen, these a little bit of an irreverent sense of humor. But probably my trucker hats are my most popular. But I have got men's t-shirts that say Bourbon Bacon Yoga too. I also have yoga pants. I have swimwear. I have shorts. I have tie-dye hoodies. I have bucket hats. I mean, I have everything. I would say that the trucker hats are what I sell thousands and thousands and thousands of. That's probably my most popular item. So the world's sexiest hats for good, right?
Yeah,
you can give back and still be sexy.
That's right. You can.
Where can I get one of these sexy hats?
Well, you can go to malibudana.me.
Right.
Or you can just send me a note. I'll probably send you one.
Yeah.
You run one, Marquise. Let me know which one you want. Same with you, Tanya. Whatever you want. And
I know Michael ordered, I think, a shirt already. So I'm going to get on there and order one too. Michael's shirt. Yeah.
Yes. Or you can just ping me a note. Yeah. I'll show. Yeah, but I mean, all of my proceeds go to breast cancer patients, whether it's research or whether it's the BCF or whether it's for a time the Malibu Strong hats were very popular for Malibu, whatever it is that cause I'm getting behind. But my heart is really with the breast cancer patients. And I even have a pop up this weekend. I mean, that's the good thing. We're coming back, y'all. That we're coming back. The fundraisers are starting again. So it's the easiest way to make an impact. And Breast Cancer Awareness Month, obviously, I will be quite busy fluttering like I always do. But all year, we're going to be raising awareness. So, and be vigilant and be smart. Get checked. You can do this.
Thank you so much for joining us, Malibu Dana, on The Making of Champions. Marquise Johns and I are forever in your debt.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm honored. I really am. I know I'm very random, and now you're just going to see me flutter off into the distance.
You're fine.
We're gonna talk again. We have to get some bourbon to you. We want to get you on.
I got an Ace of Cakes questions.
Oh yes, snap! And I got to start developing this show I came up with. It is kind of brilliant. I mean,
there's not one like it. You're onto something.
No, there isn't. And it's like you just take the best of the concepts that have worked the best. You don't got to reinvent the wheel to make it work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we could just do a location scout together.
Pretty much.
I'm down for it. I'm serious.
I'm in.
I'm in. Check.
Much love
check.
to you. Check. Much love to
Thank
you.
you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Dana.